So it's been a while I've been on this channel. I want to talk about how to structure, especially a hypertrophy program, using a bullet journal. I have a Moleskine and your iPhone notes or any Android version of notes, I guess. This video is to help people, but it's also to help myself to explain what I've been doing over the past many years and gotten to the point of perfecting it for myself. As anyone in the bullet journal community would know, that writing in analog is to kind of slow things down. Yes, I can use an app, but I can't think about what I'm doing, and I can't think about my body during a set, right after a set, right before a set, and throughout the day. So I use that to take notes. Let's say I'm writing something here where I'm running and I feel like my left knee is going to buckle underneath. It's important that I'm aware of that so that I could either stop or I can microdose it and kind of see what it's like the day after, if it's gotten worse, if pain has gotten worse or anything like that. So that is what's helped me, especially recently, to progress. I've been doing this for a very long time. I've been watching lots of videos from Bromley, Alex Bromley, I think. Dave Tate, like Elite FTS videos. Mike Israetel, of course. Matt Wenning Strength. Putting words to what I actually do myself. Conjugate comes to mind, although it's not for weight, like powerlifting. It's for hypertrophy, and just to be able to have the lifestyle, you know what I mean, forever. And Mike Israetel recently has a video that I looked over again. I tend to watch the videos every few months and see if something else sinks in that I can relate to. And he mentioned, there's push-pull legs as a program. Dave Tate has mentioned, or other people have mentioned, was it 10 by 5, starting strength and all that stuff. More advanced version would be, who is the Canadian guy who does these long videos? I forget his name. Basically, it's an overall body workout, and I've been doing that for years and coming to perfect it, in the sense that I take into account my immune system, my recovery, pains in my joints from overdoing it, my mood, my sleep, all that stuff. I put all of that into consideration, and then I make educated choice as to what I'm going to do. Even if it's a deload, as you call it. The past 2-3 days I've been going to the gym and only doing 2 or 3 exercises, but I track that, and there's a reason why I'm doing that, and I'm not leaving the gym tired. So it's an active recovery. Sometimes I'll do an active recovery, sometimes I just won't get up and won't go anywhere. But I've made the choice, and I made the alternative plan. That's the point. I guess you could call it an overall body exercise workout, as Mike Israetel would say. But I'm not training my whole body every day. I'm training whatever needs to be worked out on the time it needs to be worked out. If I'm tired and I know, let's say I gotta do incline bench press or one-legged, I'm working on one-legged leg press. I've been working on that a lot. But I don't do it every time, because if I do it to the level, and I'm not talking about weight, I'm talking about intensity, where the day after, a few days after, I'm just exhausted. It creeps up on me. And it's not even a lot of weight, but I'm able to get a lot of work out of it. And if it comes to a day where I need to do that, and I'm like, I know my immune system is going to be shot, and I'm still tired, or I have to work a little bit more, or I know it's going to be a weird week or whatever, I might just switch it to something that I could recover from, like leg extensions, leg curls, and that kind of brings me along. So when I do get to the leg press on a day where I can afford to push well, it works well. Or I could take the leg press and do more repetitions with less weight. Or I could pull back a little bit on the repetitions just to maintain. So there's a few options that I could do, and these I do out of experience and knowing how an exercise is going to affect me the next day. And my whole goal with all this is that to keep going forward, it's not consistently up. It's like a up, back up a bit, go back to another place, and then I kind of see where I was, and then I go further from that. So I kind of bring everything along. But it's not like Monday is chest, Tuesday is legs. You know what I mean? I don't do that. But I'm aware of what my numbers are, and that's the point. And because sometimes I don't do the harder exercises that cause me too much fatigue, you know, Mike Issertel talks about stimulus to fatigue ratio. It's been my primary concern for many years now, you know, because I tend to push too much and I tend to overdo it, and I tend to get sick a lot. So that being said, I'm just looking through here. I was initially on the day, let's say September 8th, which was yesterday, I think about what I need to do. I have an inventory of exercises that I know I do, and then I just kind of take the time. That's why you have things written. You reflect. If you go to Bullet Journal on YouTube with Ryder Carroll, I reflect upon doing a scan of my whole body. What's painful, what's sore, what joints hurt, how's my mood, how's my fatigue level. And then I kind of go, okay, I need to do this because chest isn't sore, but I know I'm going to be extremely tired. So maybe a pec deck will work because I could recover faster from that as opposed to an incline bench press, if that makes sense. So I know all of that stuff. Or I'll work more on shoulders and it'll kind of get some upper chest and with that. And I don't worry about that as much. If my AC joint starts to hurt or the front of my shoulder starts to hurt, I know I'm doing too much in the frontal area. Frontal plane, but I mean too much pushing movements. And it's bringing everything forward, so I need to concentrate more on the pulling, and I need to stretch a little bit, and then things kind of balance off. And I used to feel very bad about doing that, feeling that everything's going to shrink and everything, and it's just not the case at this level with me. And I tend to shoot up a bit once I get back to, you know, I get off balance by having too much pain, by being too rounded forward because I'm doing too much shoulders and too much upper chest and not enough back. I pull myself back into balance, let this kind of relax and the inflammation go down, and then I feel like I'm ready to do it, and then I go back to the pressing, and it feels great. But I gotta kind of cycle it, you know what I mean? So let's say this is what I'm doing. So I have an idea, and this could be the night before. Then let's say the morning of, I can kind of look at it. It takes time, but I enjoy doing this. So that's the point, because I see where it's getting me, and it kind of sets the tone for not only my life, but my day. The morning of, I'm like, okay, I could kind of fine tune it a bit. Maybe I could run because it's not hurting me walking. So maybe I could run today. I microdose my running because I'm a big boy and I'm trying to slowly get a little bit better at this. Otherwise it's just bike. And then when I get there to the gym, it might, depending on what machine's being used, I go to a commercial gym, and that kind of helps me. So then I have to have a plan B and a plan C depending on what's being occupied. And I do that too. And if I don't finish everything, I leave the rest for the day after. So I know I have to go to the day after. And so I make sure that I'm not pushing too hard so that my immune system doesn't crash. So, and then while I'm doing the exercises, I write them down. I have the gym, because I go to several branches, the locker number, my combination, just as a routine. And then I have the first thing, running, and the second exercise, and then I write what I did, and then I write little notes how I felt, if they need to be there. Now, I used to write, I had this for the greater part of a year or about 2 years maybe, tracking. So I would have the exercises, and then I would have the day, and I would have the number that I did for that day. So I would refer to that, and then I would write on the day of what I did last time. So I have an idea of what I need to do. So I'm looking everywhere, and I spend a lot of time doing this because it keeps it in my mind, and I'm engaged, as opposed to just having an app telling me what to do. You know what I mean? It doesn't work for me. But then this is just recently that this got kind of too much. So that's why I started putting it back into digital. I use notes. I have the list of exercises. I can't show you because I'm using this phone. It would be the same thing. I'd have the list of exercises, and then I'd have what I was doing. But I would actually write it out a little bit more if I did, because on this is just the final set. But let's say I have a couple warm-ups or whatever, I would write that. Like I write here, like leg curl machine. I did 2 sets. I write that in my notes. And then I'd write the date. And when I beat that, without pushing it, it has to be at what does Mike Israel say? Like leaving a few reps in reserve. I'm just stimulating. I'm not trying to push. I could easily do 3 sets, but then I would be tired for the day after. So today was not to be tired. But if I beat what I did last time, I would just override it, erase what I did before, and put this in with the date. Now, it could be that I scanned through my book here, and I'm always adjusting my weights, and sometimes they're going lower. The more I'm able to stimulate the muscle with less weight, of course, I'm going to take the lesser weight option, but then I have to creep it back up as my progression. So let's say I have done like 80 pounds. I actually checked it. It was months ago, but I haven't done 80 pounds in a while, and I'm doing 50 pounds. So 50 pounds is my new working weight, but I still have written in my notes, taken from the book, what I had done in, let's say, April with 80 pounds, in case that would be something to drive up to. But right now I'm working with 50 pounds. So that's where I'm going to stop here. We're at 15 minutes. I don't want to keep this video too long. I'm going to edit it. And then I'm going to put other parts of my program, and I'm going to keep doing this to help me. I'm going to look at other people's videos and see what I can learn from this, and maybe even go into studies. That's what I'd like to go into. This is something that of interest to me, and I hope other people get interested with this. There you go.